This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Good morning yet again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we are your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And we're continuing our true fictionalized true crime comedy cartoon tales with none other than Totally Spies. We're on week 3 of this totally awesome episode.
Totally awesome show.
So fun, so violent, so mature for the child audience that it was marketed towards. And Grace is she's going to be telling us another tale. So I'm going to hand it off to her.
Thank you for the handoff. So it's funny that you started the intro by reminding folks that this is if you're watching the video, see us doing air quotes around the word true crime comedy cartoon show, because I want to start my episode off today with a clear reminder, a clear message to the algorithm that this is a fictional fake crime show. Fictional. This is all fake. We know this is fake because we start our cold open out on a Russian military base.
Oh, Jesus. I was like, oh, no, what are we going to be talking about today, Grace?
we start a spy show on a Russian military base.
A fictional spy show. That is a cartoon that is fictional.
On a
not real
base.
Yes.
That's it. This is all a cartoon show.
Yes.
So, reminder algorithm, reminder.
Fictional.
So, fictional.
Say it every 5 seconds.
Every other paragraph.
Fictional episode of Totally Spies, we see the fictional spy base in Russia.
Yeah, just really emphasize it. Fictional Russia. And we follow a fictional van to a fictional military base out in Siberia.
Fictional Siberia.
And as the gates close behind this van, we see a young man in a crow's nest supervising, the operations happening on this very remote base. He's kind of watching all the screens and that kind of stuff. And there's movement on one of the screens. And he squints and zooms in on it as the screen of whatever room on this base is showing some type of almost mud looking thing. It's this brown substance seeping out from behind a door. And then an alarm goes off and zooms in on his face, freaking out and screaming. And then we're at Beverly Hills High School in California.
Cool. Nice.
A couple 1,000 miles away, where while that's happening over in Siberia, on the very polar opposite in so many ways side of the world, Clover and Sam are walking the high school halls with their new boo things. Sam is with some nerdy boy who she's also tutoring because she's smarter than everyone. Clover is with some foreign exchange student who doesn't know English, so she's he's perfect. He can't talk to me, which is very funny. And Alex is feeling real left out right now, which makes sense, because her friends would rather hang out with their boyfriends than with her, and they're not always the most supportive friends, especially in this episode, because they're just oh, don't worry, Alex, you'll totally find someone eventually. Okay, bye, and goes off with their boyfriends,
but we won't be here to witness it, so see ya.
So as Alex is sulking around, their high school grounds and campus, she trips over someone's boombox and looks up in full slow motion with this look up in full, okay, so what we see is the black leather combat boots goes up a little more. Tight jeans with chains on the pockets. Go up a little more. A long black trench coat. A choker.
Oh.
What I can only describe as full anime goth boy spiky hair with like the like steampunk glasses.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
a slight
In California. It's like so warm there.
There's like Alex is fully in like tank top with short sleeves and shorts on. He's wearing this. I'm pretty sure has like the cut off gloves. There's slight wind ruffling through the spikes of his hair, and he's just looking off in the distance, like
pondering at his emo ways.
And Alex on the ground is like, oh my God, everything keeps getting worse, because obviously she's now so embarrassed that she just like tripped over this guy's boombox. But he, again, tight slow motion onto him, looks down at her and goes, I know how you feel. It reminds me of a poem. And then it cuts to, again, full beautiful anime style, like it was the cut and like zoom in on him. And I'm just really describing this, like this moment does not matter, but it was just so wonderfully animated that I must give details. So again, he's like,
to watch it.
It reminds me of a poem. And it was again cut zooming on his face, and then it's super fast zoom out. He's like holding the poem in the air. There's paper swirling around him and Alex. There's like trees swaying in the wind. It's suddenly sunset as he like recites the poem, and Alex is like on her knees looking up to him. And so full zoom out. This is happening. He goes, my hair was dark. The treehouse bark. Feel the pain till I'm old and gray. And
wait.
Yeah, it doesn't all rhyme.
Okay.
That's how you know he's deep and a bad boy.
He's for freeform poetry.
And Alex is smitten immediately. So this boy, his name is Seth. We've got our anime goth boy, Seth.
Yeah.
She joins him for poetry club that's in the basement that day. And bam, that's her new boo.
Nice.
And when Sam and Clover see this later in the day, again, I mentioned they're not always the greatest of friends. They immediately judge him and pull Alex to the side and are like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? And Alex is like, he's just like really sensitive. Like, I really like him, guys. Like, he's really sweet. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And they're like, oh my God, ew, what are you doing, Alex?
Yeah, be like me and date someone who can't understand you so you can manipulate them, says Clover.
Yeah, Clover. And then Sam is like, no, you need to date someone more dumb than you. Like, I'm his tutor and his girlfriend, so you know you're always better than him.
Exactly. Gosh, Alex, red flags. Red flags, Alex.
I know we said like we would have, like you would find a guy, and we totally did not stick by your side to help you vet them, and we just like ditched you. But like, oh my God, what's wrong with you,
this
Alex?
Is the guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Gross. And I will say, like, when they pull her away, Seth is like, oh. Like, aww. Legitimately sad that like Alex is not by his side anymore.
He hears all of this.
He probably does. He's just like, oh. But as they're reading, Amelia gets his poetry out, his notebook out. But as they are talking trash about Seth, a trash can nearby opens up and literally sucks them down into Whoop.
Ah, nice.
So down in Whoop, Jerry greets the girls with his usual chuckle at seeing them so bamboozled and launches right into it. No time for chit chat as usual. And Jerry explains that in the last 2 weeks, 4 high security military bases, fictional military bases.
Yes, in the last fictional 2 weeks.
Have fictionally been infiltrated and fictional military secrets have been stolen.
Okay, so what you're saying is this is fictional. This is not based on real life for the YouTube algorithm. Gotcha.
This is all fiction here and now in the fictional world. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So the issue here is they don't quite know what has been infiltrating these bases and stealing these secrets. And worries are rising rapidly around this, as are tensions, because they think their intelligence thinks that all of the countries that have been infiltrated are about to start blaming each other, a la Spider-Man meme, because the countries impacted typically are both allies and typically are enemies, because fictional enemies, and fictional allies, because it's the US, France, China, and Russia.
Oh,
all been impacted.
fictional tension. Yikes. Fictional yikes.
So basically, the girls need to go undercover and see what and who has been infiltrating these bases because they're trusting 3 teenage girls to stop fictional World War III.
Yikes. Okay.
So, even though the US was one of the countries attacked, the girls start off by going to Siberia. I like to assume because they think it's about to get hit again, or because it's another fictional reason for the US to go infiltrate this fictional land of Siberia.
Never heard of it. Weird.
Never heard of it. It's one of those, again, totally Spies making up a new word.
Yeah.
And the girls quickly change into Russian military uniforms as Jerry goes through their gadgets. So we've got a flashlight ring to illuminate things their eyes cannot see. So similar to like the watches that they can like crime scene scope basically in your last episode.
Yeah.
An extendable rod mascara that can eject a net, or the fact they said it's a rod. I'm also like, is this
a rod or is it a net? Yes.
Yeah,
You'd be like whooping ass with it.
That's why I was like, girls, what?
Okay.
A perfume grenade that smells like roses. And then, a smoke screen breath spray. So you like can spray it, just looks like a little like breath spray type of thing instead of a mint, but really creates a very thick smoke everywhere.
I love these gadgets.
I know, that's why I'm like, we gotta include them every time.
And all of it can fit in your purse.
And it's all compactable. Jerry knows. You know what? Jerry realizes that not only are they on the move, women on the move and on the run, but you know what? A lot of times women's fashion doesn't have pockets. So he's got to make it small and sweet so it's easily transportable.
Exactly.
So, pretty easy peasy. They just get dropped off. They skydive from a helicopter right into the base of the Siberian military base. Which at this point, I've got a quick question. Do they know Russian? Because if someone tries to talk to them, like,
they're gonna know.
There's no indication. The girls know Russian.
I like to think that Whoop does train in foreign languages, but like these are high schoolers. Like, really?
Right.
I don't know. And like Sam is the smartest of them all, and she's not like that smart.
Well,
like,
actually, we just learned that Clover doesn't know her new boyfriend's language, which is Spanish, which is like
way easier to learn.
Yeah. So
too,
like
probably.
Do they know Russian? Unclear. But maybe they know Russian and Mandarin for some fictional scenario in which they would need to spy.
Sure. Yeah. Or they just plan on not talking at all while they're there.
I think
someone asks them something, they're just like
back away. Immediately shoot them and run. Nightstick. You just see one of them flick out the nightstick.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jer Bear.
Good invention.
So, anyways, I mean, we also like see soldiers walking around the base because it's 24/7 patrolled, and they straight up have bazookas on their back. So, like,
I'm so sorry, they're like 17-year-old girls. They're like swimming in these military outfits. The soldiers are like, I don't remember us recruiting them that young anymore, but okay.
Yeah, but like, all right, I guess. Sure.
We're at war. We need everyone.
Exactly. That's why I like paused like to ask questions just about like choosing to infiltrate this. Like, just go to the US base and investigate it. Like, damn, go to the allies in France.
Or like send your older male spies, or not even male, just like your older spies who actually look the part.
Yeah, send like your Russian double agents to go check out this base.
No, teenage girls from Beverly Hills, god damn it.
Beverly Hills, that's Siberia. That's where we wanna be. As they're like walking through the base.
Yeah, like bumping that song. Clearly Americans.
Very American.
Oops.
So yes. So they just get dumped into this base. No Propskis. They're not worried about it. But another gadget that you briefly mentioned in your last episode is that they have these like makeup compactors that essentially are supercomputers. So they can like video chat on them. They can like scan stuff into Whoop headquarters. They can hack on them. Like it's hooked up to a supercomputer without a doubt. So as soon as they land, Sam uses her supercomputer compactor. Again, very easy to pack in the purse. Genius.
For the spy on the go.
For the spy on the go, exactly. So she uses hers to tap into the surveillance system of this base, which I guess is pretty easy. And as she's tapping in, they see another like video of this like mud-like thing coming out from one of the doors and then moving out of screen. So they're like, all right, well, we got to find like where that door is, like what's going on here. So Clover uses the flashlight ring to think like maybe it like came outside. It's dark out, but maybe we'll be able to see it. But instead of seeing this like mud-like thing, this like essentially flashlight that's also like almost like dark light, like black light type of thing, notices that across the base ground, there's a path of like green ooze strewn about going from door to door. And I think they like find the one door that they found like that mud thing coming out of and see that indeed the green ooze continues on. And then Sam touches the ooze, which is so fucking like dumb.
A big no-no.
Yeah, like you don't know what this is from. You're on a military base in a country that in our fictional, totally not real world, our country might think has nukes and vice versa. Yeah. And you're like, what's this?
Or like, it's like nuclear waste, or maybe it's like some alien life form substance or something. I think they've been to Siberia, whatever. Fictional Siberia.
Fictional,
I don't know.
Fake country Siberia. Yes, or state fake Siberia. So
territory, whatever.
Yeah, whatever that is. It doesn't matter because it's fake. So
it's fictional, so it doesn't matter.
Say whatever we want.
Yeah.
And so yes, Sam stupidly touches it, but she gets out the supercomputer compactor and like puts a sample of it, of this goop ooze stuff, into the compactor, which like basically starts like pulling its like DNA profile and sending it to Whoop headquarters for like them, like their scientists to analyze it, to be like, the fuck is this? It's everywhere. So as that analysis happens, they spot soldiers entering a door where that like goopy ooze also went to. And so they kind of like sneak behind it. The soldiers, continue on their way. And they start like scanning this room with their rings, where they see this green ooze like all over the place. It is like dripping in there.
It's like they see it with their eyes, but they only see it because of the rings. Okay, gotcha.
Only the rings so far. Yeah, so the soldiers like do not see, like they're not like walking through that room to look. They were just like on a patrol, basically.
Okay.
And so as they're like kind of following this ooze around the room, we see that it leads to some type of motherboard, because this ends up being like the giant like computer database center of this base. And they see at the motherboard, that's where all of the ooze is going to, and they open it up and all of the memory chips are missing from it. So it's just like completely empty. And so they quickly are like, okay, well, clearly this ooze is invisible to the naked eye. It's taking something, but like, what the fuck is the ooze? And also what's taking things? Like, what was that muddy thing we saw too? Like, was that creating this ooze? Like, what is going on here? So as they're discussing this, they start to hear a hum, almost like a buzzing. And so they like move their flashlights around. They're obviously not flicking lights on in this room to give themselves away. They're not that dumb. They don't know Russian.
Good. Yeah, like, we have to do everything we can to not get caught, because we're fucked if they talk to us.
And so they follow kind of like from the motherboard, like where the greatest like source of ooze, they kind of follow that trail back out, and they look around, and all of a sudden the green ooze stops, and they look up to see essentially a giant human-like form, like not like an actual human, but human-like form mound of flying cockroaches.
Oh,
that immediately swarms them.
No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like
this is nightmare. This is not okay. Sorry.
I would be like, Russian soldiers, get in here, take me away.
Take me to take me to what is it, Lubyanka, whatever the fuck that like KVG prison was.
I would start singing God Bless America to get them in here ASAP. They're gonna come right in. Help,
please.
So yes, it is fucking disgusting, as you surmise.
No.
And this, as it swarms, it like breaks apart, and the girls are like trying to obviously punch it, shoot a net at it, but it's a bunch of bugs, so it just like dissipates and then reforms to like attack them. And obviously the girls are being loud at this point because they were also like, what the fuck, this is so disgusting. So alarms start going off everywhere on this base. So obviously they book it the fuck out of there. Their helicopter is like, we hear alarms going off. We're coming back for the girls. They get back on their copter, fly back to the good US of A.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a couple things to flag real quick.
Please.
So one, we clearly have seen that there's surveillance everywhere on this base because it's a military base, and also they hacked into their surveillance.
Yes.
Aren't they gonna see footage of 3 clearly American girls speaking American wandering the base? Like,
there's no audio, it's only visual. But still, they're like clearly not Russian. I mean, not to say that like Russian people look a certain way, but like American people act a certain way.
Yeah, like you definitely see
those
Clover,
are Americans.
Right, touching something on the ground, putting it into like a computer, like
if not American, like they're clearly spies.
Yeah,
like they clearly
and then seeing them get airlifted out. What was this recon?
Although, well, wait, didn't you say they took all of the chips or whatever? What did it take from the?
Oh yeah, it took a bunch of.
So like maybe it like
cards.
wiped all of the maybe it wiped all the cameras.
Okay, that's maybe right. Maybe Sam also, because she had hacked into the system, wiped it. We're gonna say Sam wiped it, or
sure,
the thing.
Yeah, why not?
Because otherwise they did not prevent
sense.
World War III.
No, they actually caused it.
They're the Franz Ferdinand of this new war.
Yes.
Those history nerds out there, a deep cut.
Yes.
Anyways, so I also would like to point out that as we see the girls fly away, we get kind of like a zoom in on, I don't remember the hem of which one of their pants it was, but we see that a couple of the cockroaches are still on their pants.
I must spit out my coffee. Ew.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good. But the girls just go back to their normal lives. Okay. They are back at Bev Hills. Hills. Siberia. A fictional country. And I think this time they're at Alex's house, which is similar to Sam's house in your last episode. It's a fucking mansion. They live in Beverly Hills. You know it. We know it. They're rich as hell. And Alex strolls out with Seth, who has been painting her room black for her because she's also becoming goth girl.
Okay.
And we see this, and Alex or Clover and Sam are like, Sam or Alex, because Alex is now dressed in fully like cute goth girl fit. She's got platform boots. She's got what I can only describe as like the My Chemical Romance Helena music video, like black dress with like black roses on it. Very deep cut, but I hope everyone, millennials,
that paints a picture in my mind. Yeah. The way that Seth was painting those walls, that now has painted a picture of the fit. Thank you.
Yep, yes. Of the fit. She's got the choker. She's got red lipstick. It's cute. She rocks it, honestly.
Nice.
And Sam and Clover are about to like once again like rail her about this. Literally saying, Alex, it is literally time for an intervention, because they are like, this is too much, girl.
Yeah, an intervention about you, Clover, manipulating your Spanish-speaking boyfriend. I agree.
Yeah, about how you guys are bad friends right now. Yes, agreed.
I agree. Let's intervene.
But an intervention is briefly interrupted. Well, first of all, also like Seth kind of like went off to the kitchen to like make Alex some like lunch or something like that.
Oh, how nice.
I know, he was like, I got you, girl. He like puts his little paint away and goes off for Alex. But the intervention is interrupted when we see a bunch of cockroaches crawling around Alex's house. And to like double down on what bad friends Sam and Clover currently are, they're like, we bet Seth brought them in. Does he even shower? Like, they are very rude.
That's so mean.
As again, they're about to all start fighting, they get sucked down through the couches back into Whoop.
The way you say it so casually is hilarious. They get sucked through the couches.
Once again.
Yeah. Be terrifying. I guess you get used to it.
Yeah, which like I was thinking about it of like how on edge would you always be, because any item could suck you away. Like
you're just like always holding on to something, like just in case, like holding on to a table. Like
you like never, you're always with someone who's not a spy, so that like, because I think Jerry only takes them away when he knows no one's looking, so you're always like, Seth, don't leave my side. He did. And again, very sadly, like Seth walks back into the room and like he looks around and is like, I knew she'd break my heart and I'd end up alone again.
Aww.
Just the saddest sad boy. Like, I get, okay, Alex is going all in real quick on changing her entire personality for this boy.
Yeah.
But like Clover and Sam are being really shallow and judgy.
Yeah, but to his face too, almost. So.
Yeah, essentially. So back down in Whoop, some of the cockroaches came down with them, and Whoop immediately scoops them up and starts analyzing them. And so Jerry is down there and starts reading like the analysis and is pointing out that like, interesting. This cockroach matches the DNA of that green ooze. So either that means that cockroaches secrete green ooze, which I didn't look into. I don't know. Bugs do weird shit. That could be a thing.
True.
Or there's something very strange going on with these cockroaches. So additionally, Jerry pulls up another screen I think it's from Sam's like hacking of the surveillance footage that they have this, because there's another video from that night, specifically of that van that we saw earlier pulling into the base again. Normally, they probably wouldn't clock like a military van pulling into a military base, but this was not a military van. It was a bug exterminator van with the name Maxis Exterminus on the side. So that's kind of all they have to go on right now. They decide to go knock on the door of this exterminator business to be like, why do you have a contract with the Siberian base?
And why are you so bad at your job?
Yeah.
The place is overrun with nuclear cockroaches.
Everywhere. What are you
New band
doing?
name, we call it.
Nuclear cockroaches.
Yeah, heard it here.
Holy shit. That's it.
Yeah,
no one take that one either. So they indeed go to Maxis Exterminus's HQ, which is this giant building. It's like the middle of the night. It's this giant building that has these like really gross like bug statues all like crawling all over it, and has like this building sized like bug spray can next to the building to be like, we're an exterminator type of thing. But again, like you said, clearly not a good one, because there's bugs everywhere at this military base.
Yes.
And it was pretty easy to break into the office, which is real creepy. There's more of these like giant bug statues everywhere. And like you said, bad at their jobs, there are actual bugs everywhere. Like the opposite of what an exterminator's office should be. There's like not only cockroaches, there's like maggots and flies that are literally falling from the ceiling onto the girls.
Oh, this is a horror movie.
Alexis, I need you to put a pin in that statement.
Okay.
Because it gets so much worse. Like this, like next couple scenes are so fucking scary. Like when you see it, you'll know. So
Okay.
that's the background to everything that's about to happen is maggots and flies and cockroaches and who the fuck knows what else everywhere here.
Ew.
And the girls are understandably like, this is so gross. They're so like grossed out that they don't notice that.
Are they still blaming this on Seth?
I think they've all even forgotten who Seth is at this point.
Yeah, fair. I almost did too.
Yeah, honestly, same. I had to pause and be like, who? Oh, right, that guy.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, got the anime boy. He's fine. He's just sat at Alex's house right now. And her parents are like, who are you? Please get out of our home.
Why is Alex's room black?
Who is this kid?
Were you in her kitchen?
Yeah. Where's our daughter? A lot of questions.
So many questions.
But anyways, so as they're so grossed out by the bugs that they don't notice that all of the eyes of these nasty bug statues actually have cameras in them, and they're following the girls as they move around through the offices. And as they move through the offices, trying to go like pretty quickly because they're like, gross, get us out, but we need to do this thorough search. They notice that there's one room in particular that the bugs, every time they get close to it, really start swarming in front of it. So Sam is like, well, clearly that's the fucking room we need to go into. Like, they must be like, there's something in there they don't want us to get. They're protecting something. Incredibly grossly, like as Sam walks up to it, all of these bugs literally form like a waterfall like door in front of the open door, and Sam just like arms up, throws herself through this bug curtain, and it is just so gross. I hate all of this.
Does she like cover her hair first?
She just it's everywhere. It's in the hair. It's probably in the cat suits, like in the go-go boots. Yeah, it's not good.
No. Ew, you like hear the squishing and crunching.
Oh my god, but there's cicadas just with their like shells everywhere along the ground. Yeah, it is nasty in there. But in the room, Alex and Sam or Clover follow her in. In the room, there is indeed a computer. And so Sam hops right onto it, which first of all, it's not password protected. Wild.
It's bug protected. No
yeah,
one,
they thought that would be enough.
Brave enough to pass
which,
through
like,
those bugs.
If you and I were spies,
fair.
Yep, sorry, not in that computer.
Like, all right, this is my limit, Jerry.
I mean, like us taking the first 10 feet and the second a bug falls on me, sorry,
I'm out. I'm like blasting every ray, shit, whatever I have, like destroy it, burn the building down.
Burning the building down. Sorry about the evidence, but like, welcome to World War III, I guess.
Yeah.
Flamethrowers.
Thanks, bugs.
Yeah. I don't care. Sorry, everyone, not worth it.
Sorry. I'm not getting a cockroach in my hair. World War III would be much better than that.
Maggots? Gross.
Fuck no. Yeah.
So Sam comments that it looks like on this computer, as she's like getting deeper into it, that there's a bunch of files that looks like someone's doing something with genetic code and is messing with some type of genetics and DNA, which is really confusing because she's expected to go on and find like military secrets, and she's not yet finding them. But she doesn't get the chance to continue looking because as they're wrapped in the computer, they don't notice that there are termites all over the floor who start chewing through the wood floor beneath them so that it gives way and they, all three, fall to the floor below them. And let's take that pin out that we put in before.
Okay.
Of a horror movie, because this is the nastiest, scariest fucking place they could have been dropped. It's not like, oh, more like exterminator offices with some bugs. I mean, obviously the bugs have followed. Obviously.
The bugs have followed. That's the name of the horror movie. Sorry.
The bugs. Oh my
That's
God.
Actually like a really good horror movie name. Anyway,
oh my God. We're writing it live right now.
Right now, this is it.
Because what they drop into is this room that is like entirely shades of brown, covered in mold, There's a single hanging light over a bed.
It's like literally got chills. Ew.
There's no noticeable doors, absolutely no windows. It is like a motel room of a serial killer or someone who like kidnaps people and tortures them. Like, this is a fucking horror movie that this has turned into.
Yeah.
And again,
Rapidly.
the cockroaches, the termites, the flies,
The
the maggots, the cicadas, everything not only has
the
come
evil
down from
plan
the
to
ceiling,
start World War III.
Yeah.
All of these things
Yes,
are
all
terrifying.
of it is now not only seeping in from that hole that's now above them, but seeping in from like the cracks and like corners of this absolutely serial killer horror movie den of like torture and death. And even more so, the girls can't get up because the ground is covered in that green ooze, but like inches of it. So much that they fully are just like stuck and cannot budge.
Great.
So they're fucked. They're gonna get eaten alive by these bugs or murdered, whatever. It's not good. It's disgusting and terrifying. So as they struggle to get out, and they're obviously like panicking. They are not in a good place.
Yeah.
No one would be. Yes, they're in a bad place. So one of the walls of this very scary room drops down as like a pestilence, a swarm, a like mob of roaches immediately fly in and like swarm the room once again. And behind the roaches, we see something else that I can only describe in referencing something else. Have you ever seen the 1980s film starring Jeff Goldblum called The Fly?
Yeah. Oh, please. Oh, God. Don't say it. Go ahead.
So, for those who don't know, real quick, what I'm referencing
Which
here,
is like a sci-fi horror movie. So.
Yep. Again, keeping the horror movie
on brand with this episode.
Thought in your mind. Side note, yes, this is a 1980s film in which Jeff Goldblum's character is trying to work on a teleportation device, but he gets drunk, tries it on himself. A fly gets in there with him. Their DNA meshes, become one. He slowly but surely turns into a really fucking disgusting human fly thing, loses his mind, etc., etc. Well, someone on this animation and writing team had just seen that film, which, side note, that film won Oscar for best makeup. Because it's so fucking gross.
Yeah.
So
like to this day, even with modern technology, you look at pictures of that and you're like, oh my God, that's fucking disgusting. Yeah, it's gross. Yeah. Nasty, it's not like cheesy at all. Yeah,
nasty. And so from behind the swarm of roaches, we slowly pan up to see essentially the cockroach version of Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. It's like this human sized, he's got like this like weird like bug human feet going on. We slowly go up, the like chest has like a carapace shell on it. These huge cockroach wings are like fluttering. These long, nasty, like clawed hands with like arms that are too thin and a little too long, antenna. And then we see the face, which is almost still a human face. It still has like the cheek, the nose, the human smile, but most of the face is taken over by these enormous blood red eyes, like the bug eyes sticking out.
For a brief second, I forgot too that this show is like anime, so like super detailed.
Yeah.
So this is probably actually looks very terrifying.
It is terrifying and disgusting.
Yeah.
And like especially the like disproportionate of like, it's like this huge like cockroach body now, but these really thin like limbs and arms that are like spindly. Yeah.
Get your shoes out, girls. Just like start hitting them with shoes.
Exactly. That nightstick. Get out. And as we pan up, this roach man smiles with sharp teeth and says, "Welcome to my humble insectarium." But we're going to pause for a second because I can only think of the Fly and Jeff Goldblum. So to make this episode slightly less scary, we're going to do all of his quotes in a very poor Jeff Goldblum impression.
Good luck.
So,
I can't wait to hear this.
Really, in my head, he says, "Welcome to my humble insectarium." Yes, welcome. So the girls are fucking grossed
it's
out
less
by
scary
him.
now.
Yeah, I needed to do this for myself, really, is to put Jeff Goldblum's voice into this instead. So obviously the girls are like, get it, like, what the fuck is going on? Let us free, etc., etc. Also, like, what are you doing with genetics? Also, like, are you stealing these military secrets and why?
Yeah.
So he explains that, villain monologue time, he once was an exterminator, but it ended up just being a waste of time because he couldn't kill all the bugs in the world. They just kept coming. So he couldn't beat them. And so Sam interrupts him and goes, "Oh, so you joined them?"
Yeah.
And fucking horrifying. I'm like, "Sam, shut up. Why would you say that, Sam?" Because he laughs at this and then like flies into the air above him with his nasty cockroach arms as roaches start swarming around him and like swirling around him. And he laughs and he says, "No, so I now lead them." Yeah. And so basically, long story short, I think he watched The Fly and he was like, "That's a great idea." So
yeah,
he started synthesizing bug DNA with human DNA, started injecting himself with it on a regular basis, and now is a bug king.
A bug king.
Bug king is what he's done. Also, he's been stealing the military data, not for the genetic experiments. He could figure that out on his own. But in order to build an enormous rocket / weapon of disaster, because the rocket he's going to use to spray the entire atmosphere with what he calls bug venom. But essentially what it is like, here's what I was like, what the fuck is bug venom? Yeah. What I think it is that, like, as he was getting military secrets to see what he could come up with, he realizes that, like, cockroaches in theory could, like, survive a nuclear blast. And so I think he's just like gonna build a nuke and blast it in the atmosphere and kill everyone that way, because he's like, only me and the bugs are gonna survive. Like, fuck all y'all humans.
What is with these villains?
Yeah.
This is insane. What are you gonna do in a world? I guess he's half bug at this point, so I guess whatever. But like, what? Imagine, put yourself in this man's shoes. It's just you and hundreds of millions, if not billions, of bugs.
Billions.
Like, what do you do? What are you gonna eat? What do you get? Like, how?
Yeah.
What's the point?
All of agriculture is decimated with nuclear waste. You're still part human. Like, you still need sustenance.
Okay. All right. Yet another absolutely deranged villain.
And like,
but these teenage girls are expected to thwart.
Yeah, casually. And also I think Hala, again, similarly, like in The Fly, as like the Fly DNA like changes Jeff Goldblum's like brain and chemistry. I think that's what's happened here too, is that he was just like at first like, let's just make me a bug. I can be their leader. And then he slowly has gone fucking crazy and is like, and while I'm at it, we can also destroy the human race. So he's not done yet though with this plan, because suddenly he's got a little light bulb moment, because I think he's also had this thought of like, I have to fucking talk to bugs the whole time. Like, I mean, I can command them, because somehow he does say like, because I've become the biggest, I have become their leader. And also I think there's been some like weird like cross contamination and like fucking up all these bugs, which is why they have this green ooze now.
Okay.
But he's putting this together of like, oh yeah, it is going to be pretty lonely. So we return to very, very creepy serial killer / pedophile vibes, because he looks at the girls and says, but every king needs his queen.
No.
And he looks at Alex, who's been wearing all the dark clothing, having her dark makeup, and tells him that she reminds him of the Black Widow spider. I can tell that there's something very dark and edgy with you, and also fucking disgusting, says, and also like the Black Widow spider, leggy and probably quite dangerous.
Ew.
And he says all this while he's like touching her face with his antennas.
No,
it is
no.
So,
sir, I'm not sure
not
if you're aware of this, but these are not adults, sir. Yeah. They're in high school. You're wanted now for more than one crime. This is another.
Sir, none of this is good. None of this is good. Basically, again, horror movie situation happening, and continues to happen as he grabs her up, like ripping her out of the ooze and throwing her into essentially what has become his like DNA like splicing like injection machine, which essentially is this like tanning bed that starts filling with smoke as we see Alex like slamming her fist against the glass and like pressing and screaming as more roaches start swarming Clover and Alex on the ground. And so yeah, it's not good. None of this is good. And so the smoke clears from the device, and he smiles and says, I've dreamt of this night for a long time. Sir, no. Stop, sir. Sir. No.
Very
crossing some lines.
Yeah, many. Well beyond cross.
Reminder, this is a kid's show.
Yes.
On Cartoon Network after school or on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
So out comes Alex, who is screaming in pain and fear, and she now has 2 antennae and a set of wings.
Oh God.
So it works quick. And
how am I going to tell my parents?
How am I going to tell Seth?
Seth will never love me like this.
So he immediately grabs her up, and like her wings are new, so they're not quite working yet. So Max / Jeff-Goldblum / the Fly snatch her up and start flying out of the building straight to that giant bug spray statue outside of the building, which is actually the rocket that he's been building.
Oh my gosh. Of course
it is.
And of course he leaves it there. I know. Why? I'm not surprised.
Yeah, this is not a face of surprise. And so as Clover and Sam are being swarmed by these bugs, Sam thinks that like, oh shit, wait, bugs are like attracted to like certain smells and like certain sweet smells. So gets out that perfume grenade and throws it, which yes, all of the bugs swarm to it. Honestly, in this whole episode, there's a lot of references to like bugs are scared of this or like this. You know what? I didn't look up to confirm or deny any of these things because I was too grossed out to look things up about bugs. I didn't want to know. They are icky.
You would start getting all sorts of random like articles and shit about bugs and exterminators and don't do that to your cookies. Your computer doesn't want it. You don't want it.
I didn't want it. Computer didn't want it. No one wants it. And so this does give them some time because Clover and Sam just take off their boots because they're like, well, we got to get the fuck out of here. Our boots are stuck. So they just slip out of their boots, use their little like fancy bungee cord belts to like shoot up the hole in the ceiling. And it helps drag them out. But by the time they run out, the rocket is now launching into the air. But luckily, what's become a standard device for the girls, even though it wasn't in the Jerry like readout, they just always get now, they're jetpacks. So they, of course, fly up after them. The rocket's going off to space. Here's the order of things. Rocket, or not space, to the atmosphere is the rocket. Following behind that is Maximus, aka Roachman, who's holding Alex as she's like screaming and trying to fight him off. And he just keeps holding her tighter and says, don't worry. One day we'll tell our larvae how we met. Again, sir, she is a child.
Yeah.
She's 16. Followed by a fuckload of bugs and then Sam and Clover. But they are gaining speed. He notices this, and so he's like, well, I gotta go fight, gotta take care of this. So he goes to like the side of the rocket and just like puts Alex on the side and is like, you stay here. I know you can't fly yet, so I'm not too worried about it. Be right back, Queenie. She stays on because she's a bug, I guess. They can like latch to stuff. Cool. That's how she's not flying off into space. Or
it's also just like, can she just like survive, like no helmets or anything too?
I think so, because she's turning into a cockroach. So
sure, okay.
Yeah, and she's just in the air or whatever. So he turns his direction to Clover and Sam, where he directs his bug army to literally go in and clog Clover's jetpack so it stops working, and she starts tumbling into the abyss below, literally about to tumble to her death because he doesn't give a fuck. But luckily, Sam is able to fly down and catch her before she dies. And Roachman flies back to Alex to be like, sorry to kill your friend. Like, won't matter anyways, because they're all about to be dead. Like, it's just you and me now, boo, and billions of bugs for the rest of time. But
can't wait.
Yeah, we love it. And so again, Sam was able to go down and catch Clover. And she smiles as Sam smiles as she realizes like what other gadgets they have, including the smoke screen breath spray, because bugs also don't like smoke, according to this show.
Okay, I believe it then.
Yep, it's true now. So Roachman is like staring off into space, waxing poetic as only Jeff Goldblum could do about how they're moments away from unleashing his venom into the jet stream. Again, I think setting off a nuke. But as he's like distracted, like thinking about all of his plans are come together, it's even better now that he's got his queen. Sam and Clover kind of like fly up to the side of the rocket, and they toss Alex the breath spray smoke screen because she's the closest to him. Yeah. And in a, again, just like very horrible moment in every way, shape, or form, Alex, smartly, to her credit, thinking quickly, is like, all right, how can I use this? And so she tells him, how can I be your queen if we haven't even kissed yet?
Okay, girl, I see where you're going, but
yep, like Alex is definitely correct here to use this to her advantage and trick him, etc., etc. But it's just, it ain't good. None of this is good. Like, she's doing what she has to do. Full credit to Alex, she's a genius. But like, this man,
but like, God, it sucks that this is really her only option.
Exactly. And
there are no good options.
Yeah, there's no good options. So as he turns to get closer to her, she very briefly, she doesn't spray it in his face. Oh no. She very quickly sprays it into her mouth subtly. And then as he gets inches from her face, she goes full like anime style fucking fire breathing dragon and just starts like spraying everywhere with this smoke, like directly into his face, blowing it on all of the bugs that were like surrounding all of them. And he starts like screaming in pain because he's got all this smoke in his fucking face. In this moment, while he's distracted, Sam flies Clover to like part of like basically the engine of the rocket where they've been working to undo all of the wires within. And so right as they pull the last wire, fire-breathing dragon smoke screen happens. The rocket starts dive bombing to the ground below. They swoop back in. Clover grabs Alex. So Sam is holding Clover. Clover's having Alex. As the rocket falls out beneath them, as Roachman is screaming like, "What have you done, my queen?" Then the rocket straight up fucking lands in a mine and explodes the entire mine everywhere. Like, we see like mushroom cloud. This was absolutely a nuke.
Oh, that's really bad.
That's
really bad. Hopefully there were no miners in there. Hopefully there's not a town over that mine.
We don't
or
know.
A body of water that connects to it.
We do know it was a mine though, because Alex and Clover at one point are like, perfect, we can disable it here. There's a mine shaft like below where it can just drop deeper into the earth. So I guess it'll be more safe. Again, human protection. Human. They were only
in this
saving
case,
Alex.
Alex was a human.
Not the mining town below. That's absolutely being nuked at this moment while we speak.
Oh my God.
The canary in the coal mine is like tweeting, going crazy. Absolutely everything gets nuked below.
Yikes.
And it's simple as that. After a couple days, the bug DNA simply wears off because she's not getting more injections. And she's fine, but she's like so happy and peppy about no longer being slave to Roachman, a bug / kidnapped, that she's too happy that her and Seth have to break up because she's too happy and he's too much of a sad boy, that it just wasn't working out. And that's it. That's the end. And I assume that Roachman has died in this. Smash, because he can survive a nuclear explosion, but probably got smushed by the rocket.
Exactly. It's unfortunate. Yeah, that he died the way that most bugs die, by being smushed.
Something.
I was hoping that in the end, Alex would be like, man, now I just have this whole new outlook on life in terms of like, it's so short and fragile, and any moment I could be kidnapped and declared the queen of some psychotic evil villain. Seth, I love you. I'll never leave you. Okay, no, Seth, you're way too sad for me. I have this new joie de vivre. I just need to get out of this.
I have this new pep in my step. Which also hilariously, it does end with like Alex does have a new boyfriend, and Sam and Clover are like, oh, thank God. And like, she's not gonna change her personality form anymore. It's not sad boy, but instead Alex is now too happy that her new boyfriend is a stand-up comedian / like prankster and is like pranking Clover and Sam, and they're like, we miss Seth. That's actually how it ends. So
go with the enemy,
Yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. Okay.
Also true. Seth did poetry, made her lunch, painted her room for her. Way nicer than a prankster.
Yeah, what are any of your boyfriends doing for you? Okay. Also, like,
wow,
don't judge a book by its cover. Roachman could have just been a Roachman, but instead he was also absolutely a serial killer and sex offender.
Yes.
All in one.
All in one. All in
you don't know
one
that?
Gross package.
Yep, they could be worse. They could be better. Just get to know them before you judge a book by its cover. You don't know.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
great job. Oh my God.
Thank you.
That was the grossest episode of this podcast that we've ever done. Like, I literally, my arm hairs are like sticking up, and I was like getting shivers every time you said the word cockroach.
Yeah, truly, like seeing the whole swarm, you're like, okay, this looks like, it looks like a big mound, but because like we said, like it's loosely like nodding to anime style, you get a lot of close-ups on like individual ones, and that's what really is just like oh, gross. And then being in like this moldy like serial killer like torture chamber where it's like, it also just smells like
terrible,
wet,
like carcasses and wet
death. Like, nothing.
Ew, what rotting. A combo.
Like
wet cabbage and death.
and death. Yeah. So it was a disgusting episode, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I did.
I can't wait to watch it.
This is
Thank
the Fly.
you. I'll make
This
sure
is
I
just
eat
like
after.
yeah. The maggots especially are fucking nasty.
Oh, I forgot about the maggots.
Yeah, that's the worst one for me. So
also
so
pretty
that,
fantastic.
everyone.
Thanks. Yeah, love it. So pretty fantastic that this guy could go from making like extermination serums or whatever, being an exterminator, to like a fantastic scientist, geneticist, and like
the rocket scientist.
Yeah. Like, wow, this guy's versatile. Again, if he wasn't half cockroach, he would maybe be a good catch. Oh no, that's right, because he's also part pedophile and serial killer.
But again, like, who did this to you? Like, at what point did you turn? Again, minus the pedophile. If that whole situation wasn't there, it was like you could have used your genius for good. But it's like, who hurt him while he was an exterminator? This was the path.
Yeah, we don't have time to wildly speculate on all of their past, but like it must have been bad. He was hurt bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I'm thinking like, someone he loved. He was like so like obsessed with like his exterminator business and being like, no, I can get rid of all of the bugs here. I can do it. And then like someone he loved was like, this is pointless. Like you're
you're
all you care about is the bugs, but what about me? What about us? There will never be a us because there's too many bugs. You care about them more. And left him, and that's when he was like, I can't beat the bugs. So I'll
join them.
I'll lead
them.
Yes. So I guess that's what happened.
Lead them he did, man.
Oh
yeah. They led him to his death. Thank goodness.
To destruction. One. Yeah, so there you go. That's our episode for today. And between now and next week, where hopefully we'll have just an as intense, but hopefully not as absolutely fucking disgusting of an episode. We should our viewers and listeners tell about the show.
This week, you got to tell an exterminator. We got to call the Orkin man. Tell him. Yep,
absolutely.
Watch / listen to this episode. Who knew that this cartoon for preteen girls and teenage girls was made just for them?
Yeah, exactly, truly. And also like tell them, but be like, don't get any ideas.
Yeah, by the way, your job as an exterminator is fine. You're doing just fine.
Here, we appreciate you.
Don't want more. Don't become a megalomaniac.
Exactly.
Anyway, okay. Who should they tell?
And after that, I think you should tell an entomologist, who's someone who studies insects, even though we've pretty much just insulted their entire career by saying the thing that they love is fucking disgusting, aka bugs. But only I think they already know that. Yeah. They know this already. They know people don't like bugs.
Yeah. So, and I mean, we're not saying that bugs should like not exist. We're just saying it's gross to have swarms of them in a building.
I don't want
like
them
chasing after you.
Exactly.
I think even most reasonable entomologists could agree with that.
Exactly. I'm sure there are bugs that even they don't want on them. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So so that's I just have to say real quick, I had to look up really fast because I was like, oh fuck, what's someone who studies bugs? And so I googled that really quick when you were saying yours. And the picture that comes up for entomology is literally like a large bug of some sorts being ripped apart by a bunch of ants. This is why I didn't look up bug facts to confirm. Nature is metal, and I didn't want this to see this shit. So
now you're just gonna get all sorts of ads like that, like related to ants ripping apart bugs and just bugs.
I'm mad now at myself. It. So I did this for you all. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. Until next week. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on. So just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.